guys, it's episode 53 of EdTech Chat 2. We are excited to have you with us as we're going to launch another project, or I don't know if it's launch for me, relaunch is the word we're looking for, right? And, it is that holiday season. I'm Diane Smokorowski, and with me is my favorite buddy from Pennsylvania, Mike.
Hey, everyone.
And one of my favorite people from Texas, Miss Karen.
Hello, hello.
Okay, Kidwish, my friends, it's on for another year, the 2016 Wishes. And I don't know about you, Karen, but I think this year is going to have a bigger impact than previous years as our world is a little bit on tumultuous side. What do you think?
I think so. I looked a couple days ago. I didn't look today to see how many had registered, but a couple days ago it was looking pretty good from all over the world.
We have them from India. We have 4 classrooms from India that have joined in. 1 class from Norway, of course, several in the United States. And I think that's kind of where we are at the moment, but we need you and whoever's listening. We need more people to join in. What do you think about this project? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Karen.
I got one from Africa, too. So.
Oh, yes, we do. We have one from Kenya. That's right. We have another one from Kenya. What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, so this is absolutely one of my favorite projects of the year because, I just love the positivity of it and how it empowers kids to really think about how they can make a difference in the world. But also, I think, so many times we tell kids that their learning matters, but they don't see it. Well, here's your opportunity to get your students involved for them to really dream of how they, how the world could be better in the new year, right? So that's the basis of the project, is they're going to create some kind of card for someone else, an actual physical card for someone, telling them how they want the world to be better. But then it's your opportunity as a teacher to tell them, okay, how are you going to make that happen? And to allow them to dream of, ways that they can be powerful, that they can be empowered to really make that change. And then the best part is you get to meet the people that you're sending the cards to face-to-face via Skype or Google Hangout, and actually have your kids share what they're going to do to make those dreams come true. And, I just, empowering students to believe that they can make real change in the world is something that I'm just so passionate about. And I think that this project encompasses everything that is good about education. I just think it's a wonderful experience. And the teachers that we've had that have participated the last 2 years have had such positive reviews and have gotten so much out of it. It's not only launched them in the world of educational technology and global collaboration where they've met other people, but also it's had them change their mindset to start thinking about, how their students can take their learning and do good with it outside of the classroom.
Absolutely. And, with the world is, and maybe it's just here in the United States, there's so much tension between peoples. And a lot of that basis from the fact that they don't have the opportunity to get to know one another. If we can build those relationships with young people to start seeing, you're just like me, you like to play soccer and you have a wish that there could be more peace in the world. Well, that's what I'm into as well. We may come from different geographic spaces and different backgrounds, but we have something in common. I think that's a real powerful thing to offer kids. What would you say, Karen?
I agree. There's just a lot of power in having them think about that wish for bringing the world together, looking at everything that's happening here right now, and just getting them to see that, like you said, they are the same. They want a better world, and what steps that they can take in order to make that happen. I think I'm going to do this again. I always talk about whenever we have these projects, I'm going to try it with my kids at home, but I need to try this with my daughter at home too, and looking at everything she's hearing on the news and everything that she sees, as she's passing from time to time, is what her wish is to make this world a better place. But it's very powerful. It's very powerful in the fact that the teacher can be a part of that conversation and they can connect with another class and just collaborate on that. They're going to find their wishes they're going to like each other's wishes, but that their wishes are similar.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And here's the other part of the project that's just fantastic. So in addition to everything that we've talked about, this is the one project where we really target trying to get special needs students involved into the project along with our regular ed population. If there's one group of students that can understand the drawbacks to people fearing or not not bringing in people that are different than themselves, it's our special ed population. because too often it happens to them. They don't get the same experiences as other students because they're seen as different or whatever. And I know we, as teachers, we certainly do the best we can to keep that from happening. But it seems to be something that I think that we all struggle with to make sure that those kids are having a positive educational experience in the way that we want them to. Well, this is a perfect project that we are giving all students, special ed, regular ed, whoever comes in from the United States, from other countries, wherever. Each one of them gets the opportunity to share how they can be powerful, how they can change the world, And I think, especially, when I think about the experiences that I've had with special ed students, those kids need that. They need to feel like they matter in the same way that other people do, because they do, and because they have talents that the world needs. And this is their opportunity to see how their talents fit into that global picture, how they can use them to make a difference. And I just think that's such a powerful message that we need to spread to all students, but especially the students that feel that less than others.
I totally agree. It's I don't know. I think we've sold it. I think people just need to register.
Yeah. So maybe we should go through the process again of what registering entails, Diane. So maybe run through that and say, if you sign up, here's what you're committing to.
So what's involved is, first you're going to visit the webpage for the project, which is Kidwish, one word, 2016, kidwish2016.weebly, weebly.com. And when you're there, you'll see an overview of the project. Then you'll click on register, and it's just a quick survey to fill out. What you need to do is tell us how many students you work with, so that we can kind of match up the same class sizes with your class. Describe your class for us if you are 5th grade students who come from a variety of needs, or your high school students working with autism to 7th grade science. We want everybody to be involved in this experience. Then that we have until the 14th of December to register. Then our team will pull together your partner match. We'll post that on the webpage so you can come back in and see who your connection is with that person's email, and then you can start talking directly with your partner teacher. You'll share the first names only of your students so that your students can write a personalized letter to their new friends. You postal mail them to your other school, and then late January, because some of these are going to take 3 or 4 weeks to get through the mail, late January, you two can set up a call with each other to meet each other face-to-face, or we've had several who've said, I don't have to have a live call. I'd be okay with doing a Skype message call so I can connect with somebody very far away from me. So in that case, you'll just set up Skype messages from one another. Easy, fun, and just cost a smidgen because you'll have to send things through the mail, but opportunities are endless.
Yeah, and like I said, our teachers that have participated in the past have had absolutely nothing but glowing reviews about this project. The kids have had just such a great experience, creating the cards, and when they get to meet their partners in a different location, that's just something that's special.
Well, and I love the fact that a lot of our teachers stay connected, and they do more projects with each other later in the year. We have our other gingerbread project. The last day to register is tomorrow, so if you want to be a part of that one, where it's kindergarten through 3rd grade, we extended it to 3rd, you can build gingerbread out of graham crackers of your community and then connect with another class and share that with a new class. We've had 67 schools registered for that project from around the world, and just brought in somebody from Canada yesterday. We're excited. We have some northern neighbors that are going to be in the project as well. And the really strange but wonderful serendipitous thing is that we've had 2 classrooms register. They're a K-1 combination class, one from Oregon and one from Kansas. So now we're able to make this perfect fit for these 2 kids, groups of kids. I'm excited.
That's awesome.
But I do have a question for you, Mike.
Yeah, go ahead.
So we have the gingerbread, we have the Kidwish. We're going to have travel buddies that as soon as I get that webpage ready, that'll be looking for friends around the world for travel buddies to go stay for a few weeks in different schools. And then we have Valentine's coming up immediately after that. Yep. And then we have Squiggles of Awesome after that. So how do we want to wrap up the year?
Yeah, so I think definitely, the Virtual Valentine's Project is something we've done the last 2 years that has gone extremely well, and that's another really easy project. So I'm sure we're definitely gonna, we'll definitely run that one again. Squiggles of Awesome, you had a great success with last year, so if you're up for that one again, I think that's a great idea. I know that I personally have a couple of things going on. We've, through my connections with Livingston Kigode in Kenya last year, we had the Project Link where we worked on the water filters between your school and mine, and our friend Eero in Greece. I also had the distance teaching project where we looked at our students teaching with math manipulatives kids in the Kibera slum. But when I was in Mukuyuni in rural western Kenya, where Livingston has launched his own Hip Academy school for kids, what I learned is that there's a bridge that kind of divides the village in half. There's a creek that runs through the middle of the village. And some of the students can't make it to school. Some of the younger students aren't allowed, their parents won't allow them to go to school at that age because they'd have to cross this very dangerous bridge to get to school in the morning, and so they don't have access. And even older students up to high school during the rainy season can't get to school because this bridge is very dangerous. And so this is a problem that I shared with my students, and we've got the culture of wanting to help when we see problems in the world, and so they decided they wanted to do something about that. So our fifth graders have actually had 2 calls, each of our classes, with Livingston over the last couple of days, where he actually brought us down via Skype and we took a look at the bridge so we could see it. And it's in bad shape. It's actually in worse shape than I was when I was there in May. And my kids are committed to finding a way to help them replace that bridge in the village, so that all kids can go to school and they don't have to worry during the rainy season. So we're looking at starting some fundraising in January. We've had schools in Georgia and Kansas that want to jump in and participate with us. And what we've been doing here in science class to bring in the content that we need to teach is looking at some different engineering designs for bridges. And so using Mystery Science, which is a great website that we use sometimes, they actually had a bridge construction lesson there where we looked at suspension bridges and arch bridges and different bridge designs to see how they support loads. And our kids actually started, creating some different bridges out of paper to see how they could span different lengths, and how they could distribute the weight. So what we're hoping to do in the next week or so is get a engineer that will talk to us before Christmas and talk to us about the specifics of the location we're looking at to see what kind of bridge would be best, and then we can identify what materials we'd need, how much it would cost, and go from there during the fundraising aspect. So that's something that we're definitely going to be looking at on the global collaboration side of things. And who knows how big it'll expand or how many other groups will want to join in.
That's amazing. Go ahead, Karen.
Sorry, I was trying to mute, but I guess I was, unmute. Oh, I was just going to say that's so awesome that they're involved in this and they want to be a part of it. I guess I have a question, because I'm a kid at heart here. What material is the bridge made out of right now?
Yeah, so right now it's actually just made of like logs that are nailed together. And it's, you can see it's crooked, there's holes in it. Actually, while we were on the call Friday, it was Friday or Thursday, there was kids from the village that were crossing the bridge, and they were actually on all fours. Like they had to grab with one hand and then move their leg very carefully to get across. And it's a pretty big drop underneath, and the water's rushing pretty quickly underneath. And we can see on the Skype call, you can see right through the water underneath the bridge. Like the holes in it, they're that big. And it's tilted on an angle. So it's a pretty dangerous situation there. I just, for me, it's switching jobs and becoming a science teacher this year. This is something I've always believed in, the global collaboration, the service learning, and tying it all together. It's something that we've done the last 2 years in the school while I was a curriculum coach. But I've been looking for the way that it fits into the science curriculum. And I knew that it did. It's one of the reasons why I took this job as a science teacher, as I know that problem solving and science go together hand in hand. But I'm finally starting to feel my way of seeing just how well it fits and how I can actually do it on the scale that I want to do it with my students and to expose them to some real problems. So for me, it's really exciting I feel like I'm finally getting to be me as a teacher again this year.
I love it. And is the engineer that you're speaking with, is that an American or are you talking to a Kenyan?
We don't have an engineer yet. It's one of the things we're looking at. Through Facebook, I've reached out. We've got a couple different leads. Someone suggested they may have someone at the University of Georgia. Kate Klein from Skype said that the University of Washington's engineering department might be interested. And then there was someone, and it might be someone from Kansas actually, someone who is involved in Project Link, who tangentially found one of their friends that that gave us some advice today. So I'll have to reach out to them and see what kind of engineering background they have and whether or not they'd be willing to, give us some advice and talk to us. But
Well, we definitely can keep looking. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I have a friend who's a metallurgical engineer, so she works with materials. I wonder if she would know someone who works with building bridges or looking at materials for that. But I'll definitely
any connections, definitely pass them my way. That'd be great.
I'm thinking you need to connect to the Army Corps of Engineers.
That would be an awesome connection, yeah.
Mostly because that's what they do. They go to these different regions and have to look at what materials are available and build. That might be a really interesting connection.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea, and so maybe that's something I'll reach out to in the next couple of days and see if we can find someone there. I'm making myself a note right now.
Or Karen, maybe your husband knows one of the Army Corps guys.
I will definitely ask. I'm sure he's got some connections to people who might be able to help us out.
Yeah. If not, we can always reach out to Danielle Massey.
Yeah.
We have that option too.
The other side of this, Mike, that I just think is great, like it's Computer Science Week and we've got Hour of Code and we talk about careers that some of the kids don't realize exist. I mean, even by doing a project like this, where they're going to be problem solving, they're learning about other jobs that they might not know exist, the different types of engineers and the problem solving in math and science that goes into all of this. And I just think it's amazing because it's giving them a peek into what kind of career they might really enjoy in the future, and then what impact they can have on society and just helping people in general. And it'll be a job.
I totally agree with that. And one of the things that I think we missed the boat on in schools is when we bring in people totally outside of what we're doing in school and expose kids to careers. And we say, okay, today we're going to stop everything that we're doing and we're going to talk to a baker. Well, that's great. But it's much more powerful for kids when we actually bring in people that have expertise, so they experience those jobs as they're trying to solve a problem. And here's the perfect example where we've got to bring in an engineer to talk to us about actual engineering that the kids want to be doing. That's when they really learn about those careers, and that's one of the reasons why I'm so passionate about problem and project-based learning, is because that gives you the perfect opportunity to bring those experts into your classroom via Skype or in person or whatever to talk to the kids about how they actually solve those problems out in the world. And that's when the kids really get a feel for, yes, this is something I want to do with my life when I grow up.
And that's why we have this job.
Yep.
You spoke of the Hour of Code. I went to a code.org training this last weekend and started to see what all is really inside of the code.org website. It's rather phenomenal. And I know you had a training there in El Paso. Can you tell me about it?
Well, actually, I went to a training this summer. It was a 6-hour training. We're trying to get them to come and do this training for our teachers. What we did this year, our district is very large, and we decided, we want every classroom to have experience an Hour of Code next year. And we didn't want to just drop it on them like, ta-da, here's the Hour of Code. And so what we did is we had an event for our teachers. We started with our teachers because we know a lot of them are going to go back and do it this week. So last week, we just got together and we had an Hour of Code for teachers. We introduced them to the why. Why is this so important to give every child the opportunity to code? Just that 1 hour at least for them to discover, and all of the jobs and careers that are available. And then we did something called an unplugged activity to show them that even if you don't have 1-to-1 computers or 5 computers in the classroom, we can still learn about coding through kinesthetic, hands-on, exciting ways, and that it's all around us. And so we got all the teachers together. We had almost, I think, about 100 teachers just show up. They weren't paid to come code. They just showed up and they went into code.org and they were coding, and it was great because they were like, wow, there's a lot of math in this, and they're like, this is fun. And some of them said instead of playing solitaire at night, they're going to start coding, but they could see all these connections to the classroom, and they were so excited about it. And so most of them said they were going to go back this week and participate in the Hour of Code. But it was just nice because we started with our teachers, and we wanted them to get that buzz and be excited about it and go off and try it, so that next year we could say, okay, we really want to do this 1 hour every single classroom to have that, give their kids that opportunity to code. So that's what we did. It wasn't really a training. It was an Hour of Code for our teachers. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. There's no better way for teachers to learn than to actually do what, to actually participate in the things that kids are going to be learning.
Exactly. And
we wanted them to love it as much as we do. We wanted them to see it the way we see it. And then, like I said, we're going to bring one of those Hour of Code trainings here to our district, and they'll get it in depth. But it was just just try it out, and you can see that if you can do it, I mean, of course, their kids can do it, but if you can see you can do it, your kids can do it too.
Well, and the accelerated course that they call it the 20-hour course, but or the accelerated course inside of code.org, it kind of gives you a smattering of all of the different things that you can do in code.org. And I'll admit, I think I've done 13, 14 levels now of it, and it's like I am on the mission to finish. I have to do it all again.
It's great because it starts off with for ages 4 to 6. So like even for myself, I started there. You know, okay, like I'll just start with the 4-year-olds. No, I mean they cluster it that way because your 4-year-olds are learning basic computer skills while they're going along with these puzzles. But then it gets pretty intricate. Like some of our teachers, because we had kinder teachers through 12th grade teachers in our session. We're in there programming a video game because when you get into the Star Wars coding, it'll actually have you program the video game. So they're programming it, and even further, there were some things that were more complicated. I was like, okay, I'm not there yet, but I'm gonna get there because I can learn it. It's just fun for all levels. Yeah.
It's a blast. And then the training you went to, the 6-hour one, I'm sure is the same as ours, where we got for K-5 a full curriculum to do all these unplugged activities, and they get to learn things like mini functions and I mean, really some complex things, and things that I've done in Game Maker Pro with 7th graders that it just took me forever to wrap my mind around. I'm going through these now going like, that's why I couldn't understand it before. They make it much easier to put it into play.
And they do a great job in tying them, like sharing what the real job is and how it's really used with the things that the kids love. I mean, even with the Star Wars thing, they have a Minecraft one as well, but they're bringing in the creators and people that have played a hand in creating Minecraft and what went into it. And so the kids are already wanting to learn because it's already something they love. And so they're learning a little bit about that back end as well and programming it. It's exciting.
I highly recommend this for your children, Mike, just saying.
Oh yeah. Yeah, my son especially would be totally into it.
So is that what Jed was doing in D.C. yesterday?
Yeah, so actually a week ago, while I was down in Florida, I got an email from the White House Office of Science and Technology Policy inviting me to the White House for, because it's Computer Science Week, the first ever White House Computer Science Tech Jam, what they were calling it, which was yesterday. And I would have loved to have gone, but I have a certain number of days that I can take from the district, and with having just been out, for a day to go to Florida, it was going to be tough for me to get down there. So I passed on that opportunity. I emailed back the woman that we had connected to at the Office of Science and Technology Policy, and I asked her if I'm sure I got invited because I was a former PAMES winner, a presidential math and science winner, and I asked if I could pass it on to another math and science winner that I was working with, and she said it was no problem. And so I ended up giving Jed my invite to go down there, and he spent the day down in D.C., and I'm totally jealous, but it's all good.
He hasn't given us any details from the day much, so I'm curious.
He was texting me. He was texting me back and forth during the day. He got to meet some really incredible people. I know that his group that he was working with came up with a project where you can sign up via email, and every day they will send you a 15-minute little computer science lesson that you can do on your own or with your kids to learn and get a little bit better at coding and different kinds of computer science. So I know that's the project he was working on, and the people he was working on it with were not necessarily educators. They were just really awesome computer science people from different walks of life. Like one of them, I don't remember who the famous musician was, but it was like that person's computer science director who worked on, I guess, their website or whatever. But just these really awesome people that were there with him. So yeah, so I can't wait to talk to him and find out exactly what the details were. It sounds like a really great experience. It was cool though, when he sent me a couple of pictures, when he posted pictures either on Facebook or in our Skype group, I recognized the room that he was in because it was the same room that during the snowstorm when we went down to meet the president, we were in that same room in the Eisenhower building, and there was a picture of President Obama in a meeting, at a table, looking very serious up on the wall, and we were all anxious to meet the president and we hadn't yet. And so we took turns, each of us going up and posing next to the picture, so it looked like we were in a meeting with President Obama. And I must have taken 50 or 60 pictures of people there by that picture. So the first thing I asked him was, "Hey Jed, is that picture still there?" But I guess they took it down. It's not in that room anymore.
What a great! It's a good day to be a nerdy teacher. I'm just saying. You know, there's so many things that it just never ends of just the possibilities for kids. From projects to creating games to doing art with computer science to changing the world. It all goes together, and it's pretty awesome what we can see kids do.
We have the best job in the world.
Oh,
No doubt about it.
that's the truth. And on that note, it's time to talk about what's for lunch. So, Mike, what did you have today?
So we had some leftover gumbo that my wife made over the weekend, and it was spectacular. I mean, man, my wife can cook, and yeah, so it was, and you know, like with stuff like gumbo, the flavors just kind of fuse together if you let it sit for a couple days. So it was even better than when I had it the other day.
Oh my goodness, that sounds great too. Oh, looks like we lost Karen. Is she coming?
I've got two Karens on my screen now. They're both frozen.
This is what we're having today, little Arby's.
Okay.
And Karen, if you're still with us, I'm really excited for her to be having some international adventures soon, so we can see about food in Korea.
Yeah, I love Korean food. So I'm excited to live vicariously through Karen as she travels.
And what are you having for lunch today, Karen? I tried out my brand new blender, and I made me some green smoothies. So I'm gonna try it out. We'll see. You know, I gotta do something.
You get the healthy word for today.
Yeah, the holiday.
Mike gets the award, but you get the healthy award. I'll give you that one. Okay, friends, that's all the time we have for today on EdTech Chat and Chew. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye, everyone.
See ya.